Hi, it's Becky with Beckie's Energy, and for tonight's restorative yoga, you will need 2 blocks, 2 throw-sized blankets, and either a chair or a wall or a tree or something, because we're going to close tonight with legs up the wall. So going ahead and getting started here, coming into Sukhasana, heels in line with the groin. Starting to rock side to side, feeling the sit bones connect to the earth beneath you. Coming into just a little bit of stillness here. Bringing those shoulders up to the ears. Waterfall the shoulder blades down the back. And start to imagine there's a string on the top of your head pulling you just a little bit taller. Closing your eyes if that feels safe, and if that doesn't feel safe, lowering the gaze down to the ground. Taking the next few moments, notice how it feels to breathe today. Where does that air want to go? Where does that air not want to go? What is the quality of your breath today? Is there a smoothness to it? Is there an ease, a flow? Or is it a little bit jaggedy? Is it sticky? Is there some restriction and constraint present? Nothing's right, nothing's wrong. Just notice. And starting to come into that deep yogic belly breath. So breathing in through the nose. And exhale fully and slowly. Inhale through the nose, deeply and completely. And exhale fully. Let the belly move. And then if it feels right, maybe start to breathe in for a 5 count. And exhale for a 7 count. We're going to try to keep this breath for this practice, this slow, steady breath, with an exhale just a little longer than the inhale. And bringing those hands to heart center, press the thumbs into the sternum and take just a moment to set a sankalpa or an intent for tonight's practice. This is your practice. Make it personal. Exhale, release the hands to the knees, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale the ear to one shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, ear to opposite shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Continue this slow motion. Let the breath carry it. And then when that ear finds one shoulder, go ahead and leave it there. Bring that same arm up and over the head, adding just a little bit of pressure. And then walk your opposite arm away from the body, lengthening those scalenes. Taking some deep breaths here. As you're here, maybe play with your chin. Notice how it feels on your neck if you lift the chin up a little, or if you bring the chin down towards the ground a little, or maybe you lift it away from the body. Just play. They're really small movements, but sometimes those small movements can get in just the right place. Inhale, lift up. We're going to switch sides, bringing the ear to the opposite shoulder. Bring that same arm up and over, adding just a little pressure. And walk that opposite hand away from the body. Taking some deep breaths here. And then once again, maybe play with the angle of the chin. Notice what feels good. Notice if there's a no thank you bite. Notice. Inhale, lift up. We're going to interlace the fingers and bring the fingers back behind the occipital. Elbows come out nice and wide. Lifting up through that spine. Drop the chin to the chest. And then round the back. Look down at the abdomen and add just a little bit of pressure at the back of the head. Coming into those deep breaths here. Notice what it feels like to breathe in this rounded shape. Inhale, lift up, straighten the spine. We're going to take these same interlaced fingers and then push the palms away at shoulder height. Round the back, look down at the abdomen one more time, finding that stretch through the back of the wings. Inhale, straighten the spine, bring the arms up overhead. Keeping both sit bones glued to the earth, we're going to lean to the side. Push that wing up towards the ceiling and really lengthen through that side body. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Notice how it feels to breathe here. There's a theme to tonight's class. And come back to center, switching sides, pushing that wing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift up, release the arms, rolling out the shoulders. All right, we're gonna grab one blanket and hopefully you're starting out with some kind of a rectangle like so. Probably, I like to start at the fringe, do what's best for you. Rolling it up, making it a little burrito. We're gonna bring, I'm gonna sit sideways so you can see. We're gonna bring the little burrito under the knees here. Maybe pull the flesh away from the sit bones so the sit bones can really connect to the earth. You're gonna take your second blanket and bring it up onto your lap. Now, Maybe that second blanket isn't going to be enough, right? We got books, we got blocks, whatever we need to do to be supported here. Roll the legs, let the toes flop out so there's no tension. Lift up through the spine and then just start to walk forward, rounding the back and letting the head be supported. We actually want those shoulders to round a little bit this time and let the neck fall forward, really letting all the fascia, everything stretch in the back here. So this morning, when I was meditating and thinking about things and journaling, I looked up a quote, and the quote was by Jack Kornfield, and it says, "Let go of the battle, breathe quietly, and let it be. Let your body relax and your heart soften, open to whatever you experience without fighting." So in today's class, one of my questions for you is, where can you start to breathe quietly and let it be? Everything feels kind of angsty right now. Where can we just let it be? As the muscles stop guarding, as the body starts to relax, allow it to relax a little deeper. Slowly deepen your breath. Walk the hands back, bringing the torso back up to a seated position. We're going to move the blankets off the mat. We'll come back to them later. So the next pose we're going into is called starfish. Traditionally with starfish, we use 2 blocks on that baby bear flat level side by side. If you don't happen to have 2 blocks at home and you don't have 2 books that are the same height, please grab your little burrito that you just made and use your little burrito under your hips because it'll be even and that'll be enough. So we're all going to come flat onto our backs. You're going to grab both your blocks. Put the weight into the heels, lift the hips up, and just slip those blocks right underneath your hips. Take a moment, make sure they're comfortable. And then you straighten the legs and bring the heels out as wide as you physically can. This should start to give you a beautiful little opening and stretch here in the hip flexors. Then bring the arms up overhead to make a great big X shape or starfish pose. Letting that low back relax. Maybe lifting the head and lengthening that neck a little bit. Let the toes flop out. We're going to hang out here for about 8.5 minutes. Breathing in deeply. Letting everything relax. Slowly deepen your breath. Whoops. Notice how it's feeling to breathe in this position. We're going to bend both knees and plant the soles of the feet onto the floor. Putting the weight into the heels, lift the hips up and remove the blocks. Coming back onto the spine. We're hug the knees up to the chest. Taking a moment to rock side to side, anchoring the sacrum down onto the floor. Take a moment, walk the shoulder blades down the back, anchor the shoulder blades onto the floor. Lift the head, elongate the neck. And then hug the knees to the chest with that nice long spine. Pause here. And then keeping this long spine, we're going to open the arms out nice and wide. And drop the knees down to the floor right about belly button height. Now, if the knees don't come onto the floor with ease, go ahead and grab your block or your book. Put that block or book right under your knee, or maybe right between the knees. The arms will open out wide like a T, and the head will turn to either way. We're only going to be here for about 2 minutes on each side. But taking some really deep breaths here, letting that lower lumbar area relax. Inhale the knees back to center. Exhale, twist opposite side, dropping those knees right about belly button height. Once again, take a minute, adjust the body. Maybe use a block or a book. Breathing in here. Inhale the knees back to center. Plant the soles of the feet onto the ground. Reaching for your block or your book. Most of us are probably going to have the block on that mama bear height, that medium height. However, there's a chance that this baby bear level is going to feel much better to you. I think that Papa Bear will probably be way too intense to hold for as long as we're about to hold this, but it's totally up to you. So Yogi's choice, play with what level feels right to you. You're going to bend the knees and put all the weight into the heels. Lift the hips up and then slip that block on your desired height right underneath your hips. Take a minute, reparallel the feet, maybe work those ankles so they're directly underneath your knees. Walking the shoulder blades down the back, hanging out here in supported bridge. And then also while I was reading this morning, I found a quote by Amit Ray, and it says, "When life is foggy, the path is unclear and mind is dull, remember your breath. It has the power to give you the peace. It has the power to resolve the unsolved equations of life." Where can you deepen your breath just a little bit more tonight? Slowly deepen your breath. Putting the weight into the heels. Lift the hips up and remove the block. Coming back down onto the spine. Legging the knees up to the chest again. Taking a minute, resetting that spine. Lowering the feet back down to the ground. We're going to come into a different twist than we usually do in studio. I'm going to suggest you have a block handy so that we can slip the block underneath your foot if the floor turns out to be too far away. So we're all going to start by bringing our left ankle onto the right thigh. Flex that foot to protect the knee. And encourage energetically that left knee to go away from the body. That's going to start to open up that hip already. Now, the right foot that's on the floor, we're going to roll onto the pinky edge of that right foot, bringing that left sole of the foot onto either the block or to the floor. You should start to feel this beautiful little stretch in this outer hip, right? And a little bit in the low back. Now, the arms can stay open wide like a T, or for a really delicious shoulder stretch here, bring those arms into gold post arms, or goddess arms, or cactus arms. They're known as lots of different things here. And see if you can get both shoulder blades on the ground. And take a moment here and turn the cheek from side to side. Find what's best for your neck. There's not a perfect here. There's a what's comfortable. And then slowly start to deepen the breath here and find some ease. Now, if you made your way into this little pretzel shape and even playing with the blocks, there's just no comfort and you're like, there is no way I'm holding this for 5 minutes. Don't. Release the arms. Bring the sole of the foot back onto the floor and release the legs. Maybe a spinal twist like we did earlier would feel good again. If that doesn't feel good and that's not what you want, maybe you grab your little burrito, you lay it down on the mat, and come into a reclined spinal twist like this. Lots of options here. There's no reason to be uncomfortable. Can you sink into this pose just a little deeper? Can you make those thigh bones really heavy? Slowly deepen your breath. We're going to release the arms. And then the right foot, we're going to roll it back onto the sole of the foot. Releasing the left ankle. Windshield wiper the knees from side to side a couple of times. Coming back to the center position. Bringing the right ankle to the left thigh, flexing the foot to protect the knee, and energetically letting the knee go away from the body. Maybe grabbing your block and bringing your block onto the floor to lift the floor up to your foot. Rolling onto the left edge of the foot, planting the right sole of the foot onto the block or to the floor. Deciding if the arms want to be straight or maybe in goddess or goalpost arms. And then play with the neck. Decide which way is most comfortable for your neck. And letting those bones get heavy here. Slowly deepen your breath. And release the arms down by the side. Roll the left foot back to the sole of the foot. Release the right leg. Windshield wiper the knees a few times. Either making yourself into a small ball, rock up and down the mat several times, coming up to a seated position, or roll over onto one side, use your arm and push yourself up to a seated position. We're going to grab our chairs if we're using a chair. If we're not using a chair, we're using the wall. We're going to go bring our bodies next to the wall. So here are a couple of modifications before we get started. If you are pregnant, if you think you could be pregnant, if you're trying to get pregnant, please grab a blanket and fold it to about this thickness and slip it on the floor. If you don't think you're pregnant, but your low back is hurting and you have some disc issues, again, please grab a blanket. It will really, really, really help. You can double the thickness of the blankets here if you would like. If you're using a chair, we just basically want to bring the body like so that there's a little room between the seat of the chair and our bodies. If we're using a wall, we want to kiss that hip right up to the wall. Almost get the booty on the wall. It'll help. From here, we're all going to support the body, come onto the back, and slip those feet either up the wall or up the chair. Take a moment, relax the legs, walk the shoulder blades down the back, palms face up. Closing the eyes here. We're going to hang out here for our final pose. And I found like the most perfect quote. If you've been on social media or turned on your computer today, you know the world's kind of heavy. And I found this quote that says, "While we breathe, we will hope." It's a quote by President Barack Obama. And I just find that right now, hope can be hard. And the breath can be stagnant. But when we come back to our breath, and we give the body time to relax, and we just let the breath breathe and flow, that we can breathe in that hope that so many of us are finding difficult these days. So while we'll breathe, we will hope. Slowly start to deepen your breath and start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bringing the arms up and over the head for a full body stretch, taking up as much room as you possibly can. Rolling over onto one side, pausing here. We've been upside down for over 5 minutes, so let's hang out on the side for a minute. Bringing to mind one thing that you love about yourself, one thing that you're grateful for right now, and offering yourself just a moment of gratitude for taking time to practice today. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, push yourself up to a seated position with hands at Anjali Heart Center. And I leave you with this quote from Luce Iguardi. Breathing, according to me, corresponds to taking charge of one's own life. I am so very grateful for the opportunity to practice with each and every one of you. I hope you leave this class feeling just a skosh better than when we started. The light in me so very much honors the light in you. Namaste. If you find value in this offering, please invite your friends. We do it every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Zoom. If you're loving these videos and you'd like more and you'd like some different styles, please join me over on Patreon. There's 5 different price points to meet your budgets. It's the same content no matter what. In the meantime, be kind to yourself, be kind to others.